Okay, so I was recently asked for some advice on how you go about fitting an aftermarket twiddly knob onto an ATX ATX 40, essentially replacing this plastic part at the end with the knob and converting this 40 into a 50. Right, so first off, this is your life support equipment. If you're not comfortable with doing this, don't do it. Don't take the chance. Get somebody who knows what they're doing to do it for you. Okay? Now, what you're going to want is a couple of spanners. You want an Allen key that will fit in there. You're going to want a toothpick. You're going to want some suitable grease, either silicone grease or oxygen friendly, depending on the percentage of O2 that you're putting through this reg. You're going to want a suitable dish, and an old scallop shell's ideal, and of course you're going to want your replacement twiddly knob. Okay, first thing we need to do is get the reg off the hose. Now through here runs a spindle that we'll see in a bit. What I don't want to do is turn that spindle in the housing. It may just cause a little bit of damage inside there. So I can either hold the purge down to hold it in place, or my preferred method is to put a spanner on that first nut, use a second spanner on the hose and just give it a little twist. This should only be nipped up, it should never take more than that, and do it. And there you go. Okay, second thing we need to do is get the faceplate off. Now, we can spend money on an expensive tool to do this, and if you're doing it all day long, then you might do that. Me, I go for a nice rubber glove, bit of grip on it, put a bit of man behind it. Right, there you go. How much man do you need? Okay, faceplate off, retaining ring off, diaphragm off. Diaphragm off. Don't damage that. Okay, there's your spindle. Spindle is going to need to come out. So, I need to take this retaining nut off. I'm just going to hold the spindle in place like so. Again, it should take no more than a little nip. And there you go. This is where the scallop dish comes in. Put your bits in the dish, you don't lose your bits. Now, you need to push the spindle out. There's a little O-ring in there that's going to fall out as I do so. We don't want to lose that O-ring. So I'm going to push the levers down, do a little press just to release it. There's my O-ring into the dish. Take that out. And take that plastic plus or minus lever off. Again, there's an O-ring around there, make sure you don't lose that. There's the spindle. Okay, so what I need to do now is get this retaining pin out. And what I need to do that is turn that plastic bung in a couple of turns. And I should just be able to cocktail stick, just push that through then. There's my pin into the dish. Right, so now I can take that plastic bung out. Inside there you can just see a spring mechanism. If I was going to do a full clean, a full service, that would come out. For the purposes of this I don't need it to. I'm just going to take that bung out at the end. Put that gently down. Now, on the end of there you can just see an O-ring. I'm going to take the O-ring off there and put it onto there. So, a little bit of a squeeze from the bottom. Should just lift the top of the O-ring enough just to get the cocktail stick underneath of it. Just gently lever it over. If I damage that, I need to replace it. So very gentle. Now, as this is an O-ring that will move, it'll turn against the inside of there, I'm going to give it a little bit of lubrication. That's more than enough. Okay. So just enough to make it shine. Don't go gunking these things up. Okay. And that is going to go in that little groove just at the end, like so. It's then going to go back in there. And if you watch, if I press, the lever sits up because I'm pressing on the spring. Okay, so just a little bit of a push, a couple of twists, just to lock it in. There you go. What I want to do now is look through this hole and keep turning until I see daylight. That's going to allow me to put the pin back in. And what we're effectively doing is putting the pin in here, this space. Once the pin's in, we'll turn it back out to lock the pin in using that bit there. Okay. Once it's in the housing will hold the pin in place, so it's not a worry. There's my pin through the hole, and then just turn it back just till it locks. Don't go forcing it, only use to touch it, that's going nowhere now. Okay. So plus or minus back on. Whole thing back into the housing, press the lever down, slide it in. So you've got two straight edges there, which meet those two straight edges just there. Ever so gentle, shouldn't take any force to do this. There you go. Check you've got a bit of springiness, happy days. So, O-ring back on. Retaining nut back on. Just get it hand tight. Hold that in place. Give it ever so gentle nip. That's all it takes. Yeah. Diaphragm, make sure the edges are nice and flat, so we've taken your time to get that right. Retaining ring, faceplate, glove, man, nice and tight, okay, in place, there we go. An ATX 40 has now become an ATX 50. And all we've got to do is put it back onto the hose. There we go. Just get it hand tight. A little bit of one spanner. A little bit of a nip. The other. Job done. Happy days. There you go.